Welcome back to season 2 of the most legendary rugby show, that Rugby Show, Maseru. Looks so busy opening beers here.
Of course.
Yeah.
Organic.
Organic opening. Got the Kenyan guy doing organic opening.
Cleaning up the mess.
That's how we open our beers in Mombasa. Lovely to be back. We've got one new face. Actually, he's not a new face though because he featured in season 1. Yeah. But he is now a permanent face. Oh. Welcome, Butters.
How's it?
How you doing, boy?
Yeah.
was looking a little light.
Yeah. Oh,
Doug,
okay.
how are you? You well? Happy to be back. Did you have a good rest over the holidays? Man, you were gone forever.
Yeah. Month, 3 weeks, eh?
Yeah. Almost a month, bro. Okay. You owe us a bribe, remember? I'm not gonna let you.
Of course,
yeah.
I maybe not have to double up on whatever I suppose.
Ranga, how are you?
Good yourself, man.
You going with the Azuri today?
Yep, the Azuri. I was watching highlights on the one scrum. I don't know what, there was an injury, but he was the 8th man, but now he had to move to scrum. Masco.
Yes.
And he could not move the ball from 9. It was over the head. It was the whole game. I think the England scored like 4 tries in the first 15 minutes just from that one guy's mistakes. So I'm actually in support of Masco.
Yes,
I think he's the 8th man, and then they moved him to 9.
Yeah. I've gone with Bafana Friday because Bafana through
cheers to that. Cheers.
Shout out to Bafana.
Of course.
They are through to the next round of AFCON. How banging has this AFCON been before we start talking about it? Gee whiskers.
I think all the teams that made the quarters last time, I think none of them
are through. Couple of upsets.
No, I'm glad. I mean, it's the first time in 22 years that they've made the last quarterfinal.
Yeah,
last 16.
Last 16, yeah.
And now
last 8. Yeah. Brilliant. Oaks, just quickly, I'm having a St. Francis beach blonde because St. Francis is one of my favorite towns in South Africa. Okay. And I love a blonde.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah. What you got there?
Atlantic Vice.
Vice
Jack Black. Yes.
Very good.
Jack Black. It reminds me of that guy from what's that comedian guy?
Rock.
Yes.
His name is actually Jack Black.
Yes.
And then you've got Devil.
The Devil.
Belgian beer, bro. 8%.
Yeah, you got to raise the average. You know what I mean?
Fair. Fair.
Good one. Yeah.
And then you've also gone wheat beer.
The cool guys.
Yeah.
the Balis. So season 2 kicks off with us doing a bit of a different angle on the show. We are just going to get to know the guys a little bit better, get to know their rugby memories. Stick around, get to know the fellas a little bit better. LS rugby memory. My LS rugby memory is 1993 when those little, the little Tazos that when the chips came out because the 95 World Cup was coming, and then you had to collect those little things. Yeah.
Oh yes.
The first one I ever had was Michael Liner. I never forget.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I wasn't really rugby.
But it was forced on. It was forced on you. Yeah.
You? LS rugby memory?
My earliest rugby memory was I had a godmother who used to live in Lesotho. Mm-hmm. And when I got involved in rugby, then I wrote a letter saying, I'm into rugby now. I was in primary and boarding in Grahamstown.
Yeah.
Then she sent me a videotape of rugby highlights from 87 World Cup up to just before 91.
Because in 87 you were already like a grown up.
Yeah. No.
You were already scrumming in 87.
No, bro, I was coming in with my mom's
You wish.
So I just, I sat and I just watched over and over.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick,
Zinzan
Jones,
Frank Barnes.
At that time, Frank Barnes played for Western Samoa. Yes, and Adrian Garvey played for Zim.
For Zim, yes.
91.
Yeah.
Kennedy Simba's brother.
Yeah.
There was even I saw Philippe Sela. Sergio Blanco.
Oh, geez, those are.
So I got to the beginning. So basically,
the
almost in theory.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
core of rugby.
So even when I got to like high school, to the rugby factory as they call it.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew guys that they didn't even know. So we would do like general knowledge in the evenings, and then I'll be like, oh, who scored the winning try in the semi-finals between France and in the World Cup of 1987? Who scored the winning try? So
and you already had that.
Trevor Quirk. The first.
That's
so
crazy, right?
That's my earliest rugby.
Does Gray still have the most number of snow marks? Or?
No, Palmaris.
Palmer.
Palmaris. I think they're about 5 or 6 more.
Okay.
Because of Gaza, Yankees, the later ones. Earliest rugby memory, bro.
Earliest rugby memory is when I joined high school. I never used to know jack about rugby. So when I joined high school, I went to a school that rugby was a serious thing. It was a serious rugby playing school. So as Form 1s, that first weekend we were in school, there was a game between the high school I went to, Lenana, okay, changes. I can't remember the school we were playing against. So all Form 1s were brought to the pitch. You're supposed to start learning how to cheer and all that.
Yes.
And from that day, of course, you get animated and excited as to how people in the team are being revered. But also the fact that you will legally distribute pain across that pitch. That's one of the reasons.
That's a goodie. Mine was a lot simpler, bro. I was, I think, probably 7 years old. No, I'm lying. Maybe 5 years old. And I was out with my parents for dinner, and there was rugby on in this restaurant in Durban, and these Afrikaans people were just like, they saw me and they saw a prop, and they just loved it, and then they started singing ole ole ole, and so little me just starts going off ole 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 ole. Ended up sitting with them and the kids, and then now I'm watching rugby, and I was like, this looks like a lot of fun.
Should have gone pro, man.
My favorite playing memory was, even though we lost that game, was we played Western Province versus Free State, and John de Villiers played.
Hey.
And he was just phenomenal.
He was amazing already.
Pat Barnard.
Yeah.
Francois Swart, the late Francois.
Yeah, Swiss.
We played at Newlands.
Okay.
That day.
Yeah. When is this?
2002.
Yeah. See, I told you in 87 you were already
87.
It's coming down.
Come on, man. Hey, so that was I mean, that was, like I said, though we lost the match, but it was really one of those where it was a favorite. It was a very good time.
Fair. My favorite rugby memory, I didn't score a try between Standard 6 and Standard 9. And then in my first game as an open in matric, I scored against St. John's on Top Far Field.
Wow.
And I never forget, I mean, I literally had never had that rush. And it was fairly straightforward. I was out on the wing, as you do when you're a lock forward. I was out on that field. And we had a simple 2-on-1, and I remember Andrea Linsky Brown put it in my breadbasket, and I got over, and I thought, wow, nice. That's So,
cheers to the fire.
Cheers.
And to your point, legally inflicting pain. I was in grade 6. And I was playing in my primary school's first team. It was, I think, my second game, because I was competing for, at the time I was a loose head, because I was a little bit tall. I was competing with the guy who was ahead of me, and he was the only person I'd ever met who was bigger than me. But around about 22, we get a penalty at tap and go. I run straight at, he was either a winger or a scrum half, and I physically broke him. And I thought, I just ran over him and we scored a try, but then turns out the collarbone was gone. And I was like, I felt very bad. But then because afterwards he was okay, that ended up becoming a very fun memory because I was like, yeah, no, the real pain there.
He's my first cap. So I'd been called to the national team, the Simbas, the 15th team. I think it was 728. Those days they used to actually give you a letter. When you're given a call up, you get a letter. And all that. So you get the letter year one, you don't play. Year two, I was supposed to get my first cap. I think the last and meaningful training session that was supposed to decide the team. I couldn't make it because of school. So that one went like that. Now, my first cap was against Zim, away in Harare. So I think it was Harare Sports Club. So we'd never beaten Zim away. Yeah? We'd never beaten Zim away.
Come on.
On that day.
Come on.
We worked there.
And there we go, cheers to that.
And the most interesting thing. So we've been defending. These guys are, they're throwing everything at us. Game is about to end. Then what happens? The scrum half throws the ball to me. We are in our 5-yard.
Yo.
So what do?
Oh.
I walked that ball down the field. A proper boot. Ball was went into touch somewhere near the center. I chased with, like my life depended on it. It's like I needed to save my family. Ball went out. To this day, I still ask myself, what the? But we won.
But you won,
first time away.
But you won that. Favorite player of all time? Gotta be GG. I call him the GOAT. Georgie Gregan. I'm sorry. The guy's not mentioned enough.
4 more years.
4 more years. The guy, I mean, GG was amazing. Again, because I used to like go back to, because of that tape that I got. And then she sent me more. Then everybody would talk about the greatest tackle up to until, I don't know if there's still another one. But you check 94, Bledisloe Cup, Australia versus...
Hey, when he still had the fade.
When he still, always in the fade. And he cross-covered Jeff Wilson as he was diving to score.
Blondie was going
and Blondie was about to score.
Speaking of blondes.
We'll talk about that with your wife. And then he tackled the try-saving tackle. And I mean, the guy was just, he revolutionized scrum off play, the Wallaby Cats,
Zambian born.
Musarawa.
Born in the same hospital as Colin Crooker.
Yes. I read that,
Okay.
Yourself?
Christian Cullen.
All right.
Christian Cullen. So when I really started to get into rugby, that Auckland Blues team was kind of the team that we all.
Obviously, they were the blueprint.
And they were the blueprint, and he just was something else. They had those awful jerseys with the oversized and the thing down forward in the middle.
Oh, so no, you mean Wellington? He played for Wellington.
Yes, that's what it is. So
Wellington actually then dominated.
That's right. And he was phenomenal. I remember watching him at Ellis Park, and I'm a big a big Springbok fan. But I was just quietly
single-handedly. Can't say it loudly.
Quietly, like, this guy. So Christian
Cullen. Great player of all time.
Of course. Richie Mako.
Oh, no.
They're great. Not only what he was able to achieve as an individual, but how he used to handle the referees. You could see that guy is quite wise. The team he led, how he actually used to lead by example. Steal ball in situations that he did not anticipate. Make carries that his body ideally would not allow. But that man, complete player.
Definitely.
People will have their opinions and all, but I don't think there's anyone who comes close to him in terms of achievements and more.
Like, I remember hearing a story from, I can't remember which ref was saying this, and you say, when you ref someone like McCall, it wasn't that he'd intimidate you himself, it's that you'd make a call and then he'd run past you and he's like, see, I understand how you interpreted rule 5.3 like this, but usually it's interpreted in this way and this way. And when someone knows the rule book and is quoting subsections, I think he would destroy you as a ref mentally. So I know that. Rich is good. For me, it's very tough always between two props because, as I said, when I was young, I was a loose head. But around 15, when I was 15, I moved to tight head. And so when I was still a lucid, Tendai Taurira, the beast, yeah, man, he was.
That makes Ranga happy.
Yeah, he was. I mean, to me, he was the perfect prop because he could run, he was strong. You could see that he had like passion when he was playing. So I used to love that. But the Italian Martin Castrogiovanni, that man could scrum anyone in the world. Italy was not obviously the best, but when you watched him in a scrum, I fell in love with scrumming because of him. And I'd watch his videos, I'd watch his technique, and he could hold his own against anyone in the world, and he could get penalties against anyone. So I think he ended up becoming my favorite player. And I don't think I've seen someone. Yeah, no, I don't think I've seen anyone that scrums. Maybe Ranga has, because Ranga was around in the 1980s, but
So he just had to pick his pension.
For me, to be honest, I love the guy, but hey, the guy used to mess us up in the breakdown. David Pocock.
Yeah.
The guy's guns, everything. He's my Zimbo, fellow Zimbo boy, but Pocock, I mean, 86 tests.
Yeah.
The guy should have at least won one World Cup.
Yeah.
And I think he did get one World Player of the Year, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
it was
Pocock
quality.
didn't get anything, eh? But Pocock, for
Quality
me,
player.
the guy was something else.
Yeah. Mine's also a Wallaby. He's called Stephen Larkham.
Oh, lucky.
Dropped the ball on his side and kicked the perfect drop goal.
In
and
stride.
almost made me cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that was
Larkham.
heartbreak.
Yeah.
That was a heartbreak.
Yeah.
So talking of Lucky, that after that game, my guy, he used to call him Cyrus the Virus. He was my dorm mate. The guy he was so angry.
Yeah.
A water polo ball is very heavy.
Yeah.
He walked out of the hostel, took a water polo ball and kicked that ball as hard as he could.
He break his foot.
I don't know, but he was Cyrus.
Yeah.
So Cyrus, nothing could break Cyrus.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Player love trade. Mine was always easy. Andrew Sheridan, that 07 World Cup. I had never seen someone scrum against like a bulk pack, and at the time BJ Botha was injured, and he was like South Africa's tight head. Yeah, he was a premium tight head. So CJ van der Linde I think was starting, and he had a tough time. So I loved what he was doing as a spectator, but I hated that he was doing it to my team, man. I hated it. Yeah.
Player I'd love to hate, Lesotho.
Oh,
Man, that guy almost brought
Rolls
me to
Royce.
tears. 207, I'll never forget that night where I watched the game, how I felt, almost cried. Then 2011 was almost doing the same thing. Man, but that guy was good. That guy was good. That guy was good.
Terry was he's a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Probably
Proper player.
second best player
engine.
ever.
Man, I think he still holds the record for the most tackles in a Rugby World Cup game, 38. Can you imagine making 38 tackles? You still score, you still make... man.
What rugby did you like?
Rugby has taught me a lot. In fact, I can say who I am is mostly because of rugby. Of course, there's my dad and all, but rugby has taught me a lot. So, fact that hard work and discipline will always get you results. You put in the work, you're disciplined in putting in the work, you'll get results. And most of all is you need in life that you'll never get everything. You might do your best, but your best is not always good enough.
I feel that. Yeah.
So it taught me that you'll not always get everything. No matter what you think or what you put in, that's just how it is.
Yeah, I think quite similar. Two things. First, that hard work will beat talent every day of the week. If you think you're gonna make it because you're talented, someone's gonna outwork you, and they'll shine better. And the second is there's a space for everyone. I think every time I play sports beforehand, it was all the same time. I mean, you look at football players, they all look the same. But with rugby, there was all shapes and sizes. You can be tall, you have a spot. You can be short, you have a spot. You're slow, you're big, you have a spot. You're fast, so anyone can play. And I think that's what I've always loved about rugby. There's this space for everyone there.
That's one of the best things about it.
Right?
Yeah. Harness different strengths.
Exactly. And if you do that well, man,
It's a game for everyone. Man.
it's the people's game, man.
Humility. But beyond humility, I remember my under 16 rugby coach. We had a perfect season until a game that we should have won and didn't. And he said the most profound thing to me, and I think I've taken it to like my life now. And he was like, sometimes your best won't be good enough. You just got to accept at some points that life doesn't give you.
Yeah. Wow. Quite profound.
You?
Like I said, I mean, it's also humility, and I always say one thing I also learned was also a coach. He just kept saying the whole time, no matter when you're in front, the score is always 0-0.
Yeah.
You'll be up today, tomorrow it'll be somebody else, but just stay with your feet firmly on the ground and back yourself.
That's important at touch rugby on Sundays, because sometimes we get ahead of ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I mean. That's also you just always stay. No, we'll be leading 32 whatever, and we're dominating, and
play the next position on its merits. Yeah.
Just knowing as well, the other ethos is that the game is bigger than any of us, and any cause is bigger than you. Just don't get ahead of yourself.
That's the thing you say often, actually.
Yeah.
What position was I best suited to, and why? I was best suited to in my head, I was best suited to being a fly half. But I was wiry and lanky coming up, so I always played lock.
First name on the team sheet.
Yeah, I always played lock, and I actually genuinely enjoyed playing lock. I was like a mobile lock. I guess now that there's Victor Matfield, we all
hybrid.
Yeah, we all think we're Victor Matfield. But at the time that I played, there was no Victor Matfield to kind of look to. So the guys who I loved at the time were like Crano Otto.
Crano, yes.
Crano, yeah, really. And then like later on, Janis Labuskachny. Those are the guys that I quite enjoyed. Kind of ball playing type fives.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I was always most of it prop.
Yeah.
I loved playing. Funny enough, I loved playing number 3 type.
Oh, okay.
Because, because I was told by a guy called Hempis du Toit.
Yeah.
Hempis du Toit played for the Springboks in 81.
Okay.
He played about 5 tests.
Yeah.
But they call him probably one of the best scrummaging fighters, and he taught me a few tricks. And he said to me, "What's the easiest way to get in the Springbok team?" I said, I said, stick to tight end. Because at that time you had your Adrian Garveys, you had your but Marius Hurton, and then we're getting old, but he was now saying, you know what?
It's time for the next.
It's the most problematic position in the Springboks. If you can master tight end, but I was too much of a ball player, so I actually ended up moving to hooker.
Oh, really?
Yes. And then my highest level of playing was at hooker.
Was it hooker?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so hooker was, but obviously with.
So, but your roommate listened to Hempis because he.
He went on to become a 70 cap.
Yeah.
So tight end for me was one of those where you like if you could master tight end and you could be good. So I could hold my own, but. Yeah. I wanted to dominate, really dominate. So there were games where you dominate, but there were games where you really. Those days they pop you, and there wasn't like now where they blow you. Yeah, popping was. There was a
power for the course.
Yeah, if you popped, bro, it's like there was a guy who scrambled against a guy called JD Moore at high school. He passed out. All the blood went to his head. He sticked out like that, and you're like,
what's going on there?
What's going on here? So you needed to know your story.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be popped. There'd be games where I'd literally be popped. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Yeah.
Be popped, but I'd be a ball player around the park. I'd be there.
Yeah.
So I think hooker was later on when I said, okay, let me try it the hooking.
Okay.
And then when I last played, I'd already moved back to reality.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah,
This one will be the most straightforward of the answers.
come on, easy. I was always a left winger. It was beautiful. No, I was suited best for tight end. Everyone grew taller than me when we were in high school, so I stopped around 6 foot, and I was always like nicely wide, so I was compact, and so scrubbing in the tight end position against tall loose forwards, I always got nicely under them, and so it was a big thing for me perfecting that scrumming art. So tight end, it made sense to me. And when I moved there, that pushing with two shoulders was revolutionary. I just loved it, and I never played it. After my first game of tight end, I never played another game of loose end again, and never looked back.
You are built to be a tight end.
Oh yeah.
Of course, for me, combination of distributing pain, wanting to stop people, enjoying carrying the ball, wanting to have the ball a lot, I'll definitely end up in the back row. And so, early enough, guys had picked that I should be a back row from high school. So played a bit of 6, but majority of my games were at 8 because I enjoyed ball playing, the independence, So for me, it was everything just fell in line to me being a back row.
Yeah, that's
so 6-8, ideally, that's me.
Pain and distribution. I love that. That's a beautiful combo.
Yeah,
that's good. All right.
Rugby nickname?
Maybe. Do you have a nickname?
My nickname is, I've always been called Danku in rugby. Ever since I joined Impala, it was Danku, just from the name Duncan. Never really complicated. It's been the only one, and it's still there till now.
Still there till now. I was better, but funny enough, I think in my grade 11 year, in my matric year, my grade decided to give me a new name, and it became Booch, and it was easy to shout from the sidelines, and so in memory of when he shout beast whenever he caught the ball, then Booch became my little cry.
Nickname?
Fire.
It's always been fire.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've never.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there were many. Mine was Choms, Shimi because of Shimangi.
Yeah.
It was many. It was all. Then I also loved the guy who played for the same team with Christian Cullen.
Yeah.
Called Mark Allen, Bull Allen.
Yeah, Bull.
So I used to shave my head quite bald.
Yeah, okay.
They tried to call me Bull for a bit.
We used to keep shaved heads here.
Yes,
For like a long
definitely.
time.
No, for a very long time. I was very.
Yeah.
Speaking of legends, I was thinking the barber said I mustn't try it again. So let's start New Year bald. Like nah, it's okay. It's okay.
I followed the Lions as a kid, Golden Lions. When they were the Golden Cats with the cheetahs as well, that under Laurie Maines, that was my best time. And now I follow the Lions still. I tried to convince myself that I'm a Sharks fan.
Yep.
But the heart pumps blood,
No.
Yeah.
No, as a kid, I favored the All Blacks.
Yeah.
I favored the All Blacks up until, in fact, up to even the 95 World Cup.
Yeah.
I was rooting
for
for the All Blacks because of that memory of watching the All Blacks win the first one.
Sure.
Just the whole thing. And I mean, I remember I could rendition the haka.
Yeah.
We even had a touch rugby tournament. I used to organize, this touch rugby stuff has been in there.
It's in your blood.
Yeah, because I mean, when I was high school, I organized a touch rugby tournament.
Yeah.
And I actually got white guys on the team. And so what happened was, from this, I was so obsessed with the 87 team. When the All Blacks came on, then the following year they dropped all those big names, and then Zinzenbroek and all those guys came through.
Chop kicking number 8.
Number 8, and everybody, Fitzpatrick and all those guys. And then they called them, because they were so young, they called them the Baby Blacks. So I called our touch rugby team the Baby Blacks. And I had white guys in the team.
Baby Blacks.
And they actually bought into my thinking. Because we were the first years or standard 6s, Form 1s.
Yes, yeah.
And we were the Baby Blacks, and we were beating the older guys.
Senior oaks.
Yes, and I was leading the haka for us and everything.
Nice.
So then reality, when you when you have aspirations to play
Yeah.
for the Springboks, you're like, you can't be.
You come here an All Black fan.
So yeah, it shifted. Here was about 15, 16.
Dunk is in the background calling us closet All Black fans.
Also All Black fans. Yeah, no.
And to that effect, like I can sing the New Zealand national anthem.
You're better than me.
So I was like, no.
So yeah.
I've got 2 bonus questions.
Okay.
Okay, my first one is one thing about legends. Finish the sentence. One thing about legends.
It's legendary.
It's legendary. Okay. My one thing about legends is what a fade. Yes.
Wow. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Wow.
Okay, and here's the last one.
What a guy.
Okay. I'll go first actually for this one. My bonus question is, if you were to sing a Guijo, which one would it be, and sing it for us?
Okay.
So I'll go first.
Yes.
And my Guijo would always be Impi ya masosha, impi ya masosha, impi ya seshangane,
Ibe yawe sangani.
ubani skuku, ubani ubaga, ubani ubani bengakala jave, impi ya masosha. Yeah, so that would be my Guijo. Yeah.
They're in my head, but I don't see a lot of them in my head. But the one from the top of my head would be Maseru. Siola lempete.
Yeah. Philip, those are our get to know yous. Cheers.
Love you, man. Cheers.
And you, boy.